Hey everyone, welcome to this tutorial for Signalia. In this video, I'm going to delve into the UI button and how it works, and I'm going to integrate it with a UI view that we have created in a previous video. And yeah, we'll just delve into it. So I'm going to turn this X button right here, which is a basic image component right here. I'm going to turn it into a UI button that can hide this UI view script. As you can see here, if you go to the menu, you'll find that I have a UI view script set up, and it has animations. It's set from the previous video. It already has a menu name and everything, and it can hide via the back button. But I want this X button to actually do the job. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to untick this so that the menu cannot hide unless I press this button. And I'm also going to add an extra button right below this that's going to show the menu instead of closing it. So let's start actually by doing that. I'm going to go into the canvas and I'm going to go ahead and create an image. And I'm going to place it right here at the bottom beneath a menu. And I'm going to name it something like menu opener. I'm going to expand it a little bit, and I'm going to use some of the template art images that come with the asset. You're free to use them, by the way. I'm going to use this image. I'm going to give it a simple color of, say, pinkish something. And then I'm going to add a text inside of it that says open menu. And then I'm going to make a title case, and there we go. So now you have a button here at the bottom. I'm going to anchor it, make sure to anchor it at the bottom, and I have a menu here that's hidden by default. So if I hit start, you'll find here that we have this and we have a hidden menu. The goal here is to make this button open the menu and also to have the X button close the menu. And we're going to do this in two ways. First way, I'm going to have direct reference, and I'm going to invoke the method for hiding the menu. And for the other way is I'm going to use the radio system so that I can close the menu by name instead of reference. So let's begin. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the X button first. So we're going to open here the menu, and we're going to go to the exit button. And by the way, if you haven't created this menu setup, you can watch the first UI view tutorial that I've put up on YouTube, and you can see how to build this pretty quickly. It's not complicated at all. It's just a simple image with other images inside of it. That's it. It has just a simple UI view script with a fade in and fade out animations. And I made sure to set up the menu name as test menu, which is the name that we're going to use later for non-reference invocation of the menu. So let's start here. I'm going to go back to the exit button, go to add component, and you can just search for UI button. Add the script, and the script is immediately going to add a default Unity button script, and it's also going to add the Signalia UI button script. You can go ahead and right click on this and move it up so that you can see it up here. And that's it. We're going to add what we need in here so that this button can do its job. And you can completely forget about the button that comes in from the Unity. This is only used so that Unity can actually connect this button to the event system so that we can actually click it. But all the actual logic is inside this script. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a click animation. So we're going to click on this, and we're going to say click, and we're going to use the click heavy. Now, if you search for click, you're going to find 3 of the template animations that I have here. I'm just going to use click heavy, and we can test this. This is what it looks like. Pretty simple. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go over to events, and here's where we actually add what the button does. So we have event senders, and we also have Unity events on click. Event sender is basically what event does it send in the radio system. Now, this tutorial is obviously not a radio system tutorial. It's just a button tutorial, so we're going to delve into event senders later when I explain the actual radio system and how it works, since it's a very code-based tutorial, and it's going to focus a lot on how to write scripts or complex systems in your own custom logics and how you can use or play with the event system. But for now, we're going to use the simple Unity event. Adding an event here is the same as adding an event on the normal Unity script. It's the same as adding an event in here. But we're going to add it in here instead. So we're going to click here, and we're going to drag the menu into this, go here, UI view, and then call hide. And that's it. This checkbox means that it's going to be an instant animation, meaning the hide animation is not going to play. So if you see this checkbox either on show or hide, it's always going to mean the instant action. We don't need this, so we actually want the animation to play. So we're going to uncheck this. Then we're going to make sure to look at the disabling options here. We want the button to not be clickable while we're clicking the button, so that if I double click it, for example, it doesn't do the same action twice. So check this, and you can have a more solid button that's spam free, so that even if the player decides to go crazy spamming this button, it won't break its action or anything. And this is actually an option that you can activate by default if you go to Tools, Signalia, and Settings. You can find this in the UI config where it says disable clicking and actually, oh sorry, the button cooldown. Yeah, you can see it here where it has a global cooldown on all buttons. But having this checkbox means that it's not really time-based, it's going to be based on the animation itself. So the animation has to finish before you can click it again. This will allow you to have the animation play completely without any interruptions, which is pretty good if you want to have a fluid looking at menu. So after this, we're pretty much done. All the other options here do all kinds of other stuff. We don't really need these. But you can go into, for example, the miscellaneous tab, and you can find some other stuff in here, like the selection object, pop-up delay. If you look into the actual script and open it, you'll figure out what all of these mean. I'm not going to delve into them here. I'm going to delve into them in a different UIButton tutorial. For now, this is just the basic UIButton tutorial. And here, you can also add an audio if you want this button to play an audio. There's already a template audio set that comes in with the asset, so you can actually select some of them from here. I can, for example, add UI action click if I want to have this button do something with audio. There's also the toggle. This is something, again, I'm going to get in a different video, turning this button into a toggle instead of a button. And that's pretty much it. So now let's just jump in really quick into the scene. We're going to show the menu, the by hand here, and we're going to click the button now. And as you can see, that's it. It hit the menu. Pretty self-explanatory. What we're going to do here is also see if the audio is working. So I'm just going to uncheck this option here. And yeah, you can actually hear that. Yeah, it's pretty low sounding volume. But yeah, you can hear it if you click. If you raise the volume a little bit on the video, you might hear it. But so yeah, that's pretty much it for this button. Now we're going to do the other button, which is going to show the menu using its name instead. Because imagine that you have a menu that's a completely closed up prefab, and you don't want to directly reference this menu into this button. Say this button is in its own other place. You want to call this not by reference, but using the events system so that you don't have to directly reference scene objects together. And this is where calling by name comes in. So what we're going to do is go into the menu opener, do the same thing, just add the UI button, move the script up, go to the animations, add a click animation. This time I'm just going to add click happy instead, which is a much more exaggerated animation. And I'm going to go to disabling, disable with click. And here, instead of going to events and adding the menu, what we're going to do is we're going to go to menus, and we're going to go here, menus to show. If we add an element in this array, we can just say test menu, and this will show the menu when we click on this. As you can see here, it's an array, which means it can show more than one menu if I wanted to. You can add even more menus if you need. But here we just want to show this one menu. And by the way, you don't have to actually write it down. you can use this combo box over here, and you can actually select it, and it's going to add it immediately right here. And that's pretty much it. Now, if I go over into the scene, this button is not referenced by event, it's referenced by name. So if I click this, as you can see immediately it chose the menu using just its name. And this is pretty useful if you want to keep everything disconnected. Now, I just want to show you another thing really quick. See how we made the exit button use the Unity event array to call the hide method? Actually, you don't really need to do that. If your goal is for a button to just hide its parent view, you can delete this here, and you can go to menus, and you can check this instead, hide parent view. This option will hide the menu that this button is inside of, or the very first menu that's above this button, which will do the exact same action that we just did. So if I click this, and click this again, as you can see, it does exactly what we want. I'm gonna add actually an audio to this button, just like the other one, but here I'm gonna add something a little louder, so open menu, for example. And then we're gonna hit play, and we're gonna see this. And that's it. That's pretty much it for the UI buttons. Those are the basics. We're gonna delve into more complex things with UI button, explaining things like the UI button name, and also things like the reset state, menus showing as pop-up, or menus to hide, which are basically exactly as you would think they are. There's also the toggle, which is a pretty useful option if you want to make this button like a setting option. And same thing with the miscellaneous things here, like the interactivity binding and invoking back button and all this other stuff. So thank you for watching. I hope this video has been helpful for you, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.